Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 060, Topics in Developmental Mathematics, Section 2.11, Problem 16. This is Section 2.11, Problem 16. It says, Roger is reading a book about the history of Fall River. If the book has 240 pages and he is 2/3 of the way through the book, what page is he on? So, there's 240 pages altogether, and he's 2/3 of the way done. So what do we do with the 2/3? You wind up multiplying. It does have the word of in it, which typically means multiply. So 240 times 2/3. And that should tell us what page he's on. So when you multiply fractions, it's really, the way to do it is multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. 240 is written without a denominator. So I can rewrite the problem, 240 over 1 times 2 over 3. So now each fraction has a numerator and a denominator, so you can multiply the numerators right across the top, multiply the denominators across the bottom, get the answer, reduce it if you can. In this case, you may or may not notice that it can pre-reduce. If you don't notice, you'll get the same answer in the end. You'll have to deal with slightly larger numbers for a minute. But the 3 and the 240 reduce nicely. I know that 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 240 80 times. Now, the way I'm able to do that pretty easily without writing it down, 3 divides into 240 is too big. So I briefly ignore the 0. And I know 3 goes into 24 8 times. So I put the 8, and then I put the 0 back. And the answer is 80. That way it's easy, and you don't have to write it out. Now, I can multiply across the top. I have 80 times 2 when I multiply the numerators. 80 times 2 is 160. The denominators wind up being 1 times 1 after I pre-reduce. 160 over 1 is 160. So Roger should be on page 160 if he's 2/3 of the way through the book. Now, actually, when I started this, I could see that it was 160. This 2/3, what I did is first I figured out what's a third of 240 pages. It's 80 pages. He's completed 2 of those thirds. 2 groups of 80 pages is 160. I could actually see it as I started it. Now, if you don't see that, just multiply the fractions and you'll get the answer. If you do see it, then good, you get the answer even a little quicker.